let's go through like a file. So say you have like a text file in your folder, okay? And you want to read that text file. Say the text file has, I don't know, like a phone number, okay? So what would you do? So to open files is actually very easy. First of all, we want to create our file. So I don't have a file currently in my folder, but I want to create it so that I can read from it in my Python. So what I do is I can either go over here and click the new file again, and then we can write it, make a text file, or I can just right click and click on new file, and it opens here, and I can say workshop.txt. So I'm creating a new text file, okay? And in this text file I can write anything. So let me put hello, phone number, just random things, name, file. This is the end of the file. Okay, so I put this in my text file. You can write anything. You doesn't have to be this, but I put like 5 lines in my text file. All right. So once I did that, I go here and I want to read this file. So what I say is I create a variable. You can call it anything, but it's easier if you call it like a file. Okay. So file is equal to. Maybe you don't even have to. You can call it like. I'll call it file. Okay. Let me call it file for now. So file open. So what you're saying is you have a file and you want to open it, okay? So you say open, and you first thing you put is the name of the file, so in a string. So what do we call it? We call it workshop.txt. So I'm gonna type here workshop.txt. This will only work if the file is in the same folder as your Python file. So you know how our Python file is in this workshop folder in my documents? I also have the text file in the same workshop folder. So I can just say workshop.txt. If it wasn't in the same folder, you're gonna have to actually do some path stuff. So if I like right click on where it is on my thing, I can even copy path here on VS Code. And if I do this, see this path, you're gonna have to do this if it's not in the same file as your Python file. So yeah, just it's easier if you just put it in the same file as your Python file. So I'm just gonna say workshop.txt and then comma, because we're gonna add one more thing. And what we want to add is when you click it, when you do open and you open this file, it wants to know what are you gonna do with this file. Oh, to copy it, you right click on the file and then copy path. So I said open and I wrote the name of the file because it's in the same folder. And then now it wants to know what am I gonna do with that file. You have to specifically tell it. So right now I just want to read that file. So what I do is I just put another string and I just do an R. R stands for read. So I'm telling it open this workshop.txt and I'm going to read this file. And now this is our variable for the file. And what we can do is, one thing we can do is print and we say file.read. So this is a function within this file called .read, and this read just prints actually this whole thing, prints it in the terminal. So I can run it right now, but let me just comment this out so it's easier for you guys to see. These print statements. Okay, we're good. All right, I'm gonna make it bigger a bit here. So ignore this part, this is just my path. Here is where it starts. Hello, phone number, name, file, this is the end of the file. Exactly what I wrote in this file. Make sure to save this file, by the way. It won't show you anything if you don't save it. So save it and then do this. So once you save, it'll print. When you do print file.read, it just prints everything in the file to the terminal. But what if I want only the first line? Okay, so say hello. What I do is, what does the R do? The R stands for read. So R stands for read. I'm specifying that I'm reading this file. There's different ones for write. So like if I wanna actually add stuff to the file, I have to like something else, W or A, but I'll show that in a bit. So So another thing you can do is you can do print file.read line. Okay. So what this does is instead of reading the whole thing, if instead of printing the whole thing, it just prints the first line it sees. So you can do here and see. Okay, actually, let me comment this out so you don't get confused. See here how it prints just hello. It prints hello because I just said read line. If I copy this a couple times, see here hello, phone number, name. What it does is, so after you call read line one time, it's like kind of like a point, something that points to this first line. Okay, first of all, when you call it the first time, it's pointing here, so it's gonna print hello. But then after printing the hello, it'll point to the next line, and then you print read line again. It'll actually print this line now because it's pointing here, and then you do read line again, and it's gonna print this line. So it doesn't always stay at the first one. So if I call it 3 times, it's gonna go over to the third line, print the third line. So here I printed hello, phone number, name, and I printed it 3 times here. That's why I get each line. And I actually don't, say I don't want these 2 lines. This is all I need. There is an easier way to do this. I'll show in a bit once we go into loops. But for now, just this is good. And I'm not going to do it here because I'm going to use it in a bit. But if you want to close the file, it's always good. Uh, don't leave the files open like always. If you don't need the file anymore, do this. Not in a comment. I'm just commenting in here, but see sorry, not F file, the name of this thing. So file.close. So I have my file and I just closed it. So you don't want to have like a bunch of files open in your code. If you're not using it anymore, then do this close line to close the file. Right now I'll keep it open because I'm going to use it in a bit. And then let's go through a couple things here. So I told you guys R stands for read. There's also W stands for write. Okay. And then A stands for append. And then X equals to create. Okay. So what does this mean? So if I replace this R with a W, now I'm opening this file and I'm telling it that I'm going to write to it. But what W means for write, it means that it's going to overwrite everything here. So if I put a W here and I say here like file.write and then I say like a string here, like let me do it actually for you. If I say print, I'll change this to W for now. Print, I'm gonna comment this out. File, file.write, and here I say like overwrited. Okay. If I did this, what it does is this. It actually deletes everything here and starts writing from the beginning, which will so the only after you run this, the only thing in your file will be overwrited, which is the string that I wrote here. So I'm gonna run it. Okay. You actually don't need to print. I'll show you here. So just do this actually. File.write. What it does is you go here. See now my text file. Everything that I had here is gone now. But the only thing that's there is a string that I put here, overwrited. And I can like do this multiple times and say like new line, new text. Just run it again. See here now. Oh, see, first of all, you got to do a \n, so keep a new line. Sure. So here, now if I do this, because I'm just telling it new line. So here, see overwrited, new line, new text. Now this write overwrites everything. So if you have anything in this text file, it'll be gone because you're gonna write over it. If you don't want to do that, say you have stuff in your text file, say I want to keep these 2-3 lines, but I just want to add to the text file, like more stuff. What I do is you don't do W, you actually do A for append. Append means add to the end. So if I do A, and I keep the same this, but I'll say something else like new append 1, 2. Okay. So now this will actually, when you do this, because you specified it's an A, it won't delete everything in this file. It'll just add it. So if I do that, it's gonna run and then go here. See here how this was already there. Now it just added 3 more lines. So new text, new append 1 and 2. So that is good. And then let me show you. Okay, x equals to create. So sometimes in your code, you don't wanna manually create files like I did here. You wanna actually create it in the code. So say your code is doing something big, like a big program. A person is not there to create the file every time the program needs a new file. It actually needs to create it on its own. And you put an X here if you want to create a file. So when you say like open workshop.txt and workshop.txt is not there, like I didn't create this file, but I said the X here, it'll create the file for me and then put everything in it. My workshop test file is each line it isn't changing. So make sure to save it, and then what you can do is you can close and then do everything here and run it and then reopen it to refresh. That's maybe why it's not changing. I don't have that issue, so if you did everything here, it should be the same. Unsupported operation not writable. Oh, it's because this what did you put here? You have to put W if you want to write, Carol. So if you want to write, you can put W or A. But if you have R only, you can't. Yeah, R just read. So if you do R and then you do dot write, you can't write. I was gonna say also, okay. So what if like some people want to both read and write, right? So if I want to both read and write, you just add it like together. So I can say RA. What RA does is just like read and write and append. I don't want to overwrite, but I want to read what's in there, and I also want to append. So what happens here is I can uncomment these lines now, where I read the lines. It's gonna read the first 3 lines, and then it's going to let me actually delete this first before I this new append here. Okay. See how now my text file has only 3 lines. Okay, these 3 lines. It ends at new text. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first read these 3 lines and print them, and then I'm gonna write 3 more lines. And let me run that. 1 second. One. Oh, 1 sec. Give me a second. I have it written here. Okay, so what you do is you I think what you could do is you do it 2 times. I think you do read. Let me just check 1 second because I haven't done this in a long time. Uh, okay. Okay, let me do this. You might have to do this. I'll tell you at the end of the workshop if you might have to change it. I haven't done files in a long time, so I think I'm just confusing with a different language. But if you do W, you can see here it prints. It does overwrited. Actually, oh, I overwrited it now. See, I put W so it overwrited, but first it printed read the read lines, and then it did this. So if I do A actually, and change this 1, 2, 3 this, and I run it, it's now this, but then the new stuff. You have to put like a backslash n here. So now if I run this like this, I keep adding to the file. That's why it's like I didn't delete the old stuff, but yeah, it just adds to more to the file. So you have to like, specify. I think there's a better way. I'm gonna have to look at that after because I haven't done files in a long time, but I'll let you know. Okay. So, I still can't have file. I still can't open my text file. What did you have to do it again? What do you mean by open text? Like in the code? It's just this line. You say like file open, the name of the text file, comma, and then what do you want to do with the text file? Did that work for you? Oh, I see here. Okay. Okay. I'll explain. It's not actually RW. Let me just tell you this. It's actually this. Okay. You do A plus or W plus. So what this does is this. It says, I want to append to the file, and I also this plus means like also read from it. So I'm pretty sure this will work this time. Let me check. Let me see here. Yeah. See? Let me just close this for a second. See now, I have A plus, meaning I can read and write from the file. It didn't give me any errors or anything. So if you put a plus after W or A, I can even put W here, right? If I put W here and I do this, it'll actually read and write. And here's read and append. So just plus if you want to do both. You said I have to save it in the same place, right? Yeah. You don't have to, but if you want to just specify it like a text file name right away, then you have to. But if you don't have it in the same place, you're gonna have to find the path, so where it is on your computer, and then you have to paste that path into here as a string. It's much harder. So if you put it in the actual same folder, then it'll be much easier for you.